Om Shri Sai Ram. Dear students, welcome to this second session of our chapter, My Beginnings. I hope you went through the first session and enjoyed reading about the antics of the young Kapil Dev. In our second session too, we will see some of his naughty and playful activities, and further on how he got into the game of cricket. So shall we start? Before we start the second part, let us see some of the answers for the assignments. You might not have written in these exact words, but it does not matter provided you have understood the gist of the lesson or that particular question that has been asked. So here I am reading out the answers for you. Question 1. List out some of the naughty antics of Kapil during his boyhood days. Answer. Kapil was by nature a curious and active child. He would save money and often bunk school to go to a movie or to an eatery to have his favorite dishes. On some days, he and his friends would climb the wall to jump into his neighbor's garden, which had many pomegranate and papaya trees. They would then pluck and eat the fruits without the knowledge of the neighbor. Question 2. Why did Kapil decide to pluck all the pomegranates from his neighbor's garden? Answer. One day, Kapil and a friend climbed his neighbor's papaya tree to pluck papayas. Just then, the lady came out into the garden with her guests and sat under the very same tree. He and his friend did not want to be caught stealing, so they remained perched on the tree for 2 hours until the lady and her guests left. As a result, Kapil suffered from painful rashes on his legs. He therefore decided to take revenge on his neighbor by stealing all the pomegranates from her trees when she was away. Third question. The neighbor would have been angry with Kapil for plucking all the pomegranates in her absence. Did her attitude to Kapil change when he grew up? If so, how? Answer. When Kapil grew up, she would often tell others with pride and affection about how he had stolen 92 pomegranates from her garden, leaving the seeds behind. Now we come to the difficult words in the following session. Please pay attention. Innumerable, meaning countless. Graze, to feed on grass. Animals like cows and horses feed on grass and they are left in an open field to graze. It is called to graze. Chide means scold. Exceptional means outstanding. Unconsciously means to do something without being fully aware of it. Professional training, a person who works in a job that needs a high level of education. Idiomatic phrase, bite off more than one can chew. The meaning is doing more things than one can manage. let us continue with the second part of the lesson. The other really naughty thing I remember doing is riding the police horses that were left in the huge open green areas to graze. A few of my friends and I would go there regularly and try to ride them. They were huge police horses, not used to clumsy children scrambling onto them. But despite innumerable falls and many a fright, I learned to ride and control a horse. In fact, even today, I am quite comfortable on a horse without a saddle, as that was the way I had taught myself to ride. Once we had learnt to master the horse, there was one I became particularly attached to. Kapil Dev took a liking to one particular horse and he used to ride that horse often. Once we had learned to master the horse, we became more courageous and ventured out of the fenced area with the horses. Nobody would have noticed, except for the fact that I bit off more than I could chew. What did Kapil do? I decided to take the horse home and house him in our back garden, which was about 700 square feet in size. The horse could probably have been tethered there. He would have tied the horse. He had plans to take the horse into his garden and tie the horse there. Tie the horse. But I hadn't anticipated the struggle I would have in getting the animal through the tiny 5.5 foot by 2 doorway. But Kapil did not know that it would be very difficult to get the horse through the small doorway of his house. So what happened? While he was struggling to get the horse in, we were caught within minutes of our arrival. As soon as he reached home and was trying to get his horse through the gate, they were caught. By whom? By Kapil's father. The horse, of course, was duly returned, and the chiding I received from my father discouraged my venturing near the grazing fields again. Kapil got a very strong scolding from his father. He had to return the horse to the place where it belonged, and thereafter all his visits to the grazing grounds were also stopped. Kapil says, I was never very studious and always preferred to spend my time playing games and participating in athletics where I could use up my energy. He was a very energetic young boy. So he did not want to sit and do studies. He was more interested in active sports, going to the field and playing. He would participate in athletics, running, jumping, etc. I went to a small local school that had few cricketing facilities. The cricketing facilities in his school was not very much. They probably didn't have the bats and the wickets and whatever is needed for cricket. But they had other games. The games they offered at that time were basketball, football, table tennis and hockey. Probably because all they required was a ball, a couple of sticks and a net. I was fairly good at all games, exceptionally good at athletics, but dreamed of becoming a footballer. See the number of games that Kapil was interested in and played well. I worked hard at that game, at football, and was selected to play for my school. Fortunately, all my friends were interested in and played cricket, and they convinced me to change my game. So although he played football very well, some of his friends started playing cricket, and they said that please you also join us, and that is how he started getting interested in the game. His friends told him that you please join us, and they convinced him to join them. That is a decision I will always be grateful to them for, as they unconsciously introduced me to the game for which I was made. So he says, Kapil says, I'm always grateful to my friends who introduced me to the cricket game, because that was what he excelled in later in life. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, I switched from one game to the other and began to spend a lot of my time on the cricket field. Imperceptibly means without really being aware of how it happened. He moved from one game to the other, and gradually he began to spend more time on the cricket field. Naturally, I played in a number of inter-school tournaments and came to be noticed as a promising lad in the local press. The local press, the local newspaper reported about his ability in the game, and he started becoming more and more well known as a cricket player during his school days. But it was all merely fun to start with. I could never have imagined where cricket would lead me, and I certainly had no plans then of becoming a cricket player. So this is how Kapil Dev describes how he switched from one game to another and finally ended up taking cricket as his profession later on in life. Key points. Kapil was very adventurous by nature. There was a field near his house where police horses were left for grazing. Here he learned how to ride a horse on his own. This was not easy because police horses are huge in size. Because of this early experience, Kapil says that even in later years, he had the ability to ride a horse without a saddle. He made an attempt to take one of the police horses home, but was caught red-handed by his father. Thereafter, his visits to the horse grazing ground came to an end. He excelled at different sports, but after being pressurized by friends, he decided to take up cricket. He soon developed a keen interest in the game. He went on to win many local tournaments, and soon people started taking note of this boy with promising talent. In this way, gradually climbing up the ladder of success, Kapil Dev finally decided to take up cricketing as a career. The assignment for you is, please answer these questions and send your answers on WhatsApp to your respective teachers. How did Kapil learn to ride a horse? Question 2. Kapil wanted to keep one of the police horses at his house. Why did he not succeed in doing this? Question 3. How did Kapil decide to take up cricketing as a career? Here's an instruction for you, dear students. In your textbook, you will find questions and exercises at the end of each section and at the end of the lesson. You should complete all the questions and exercises given. Please make a notebook for this purpose and ensure that your work is neatly done. So here we have come to the end of the chapter, and I hope that all of you enjoyed this lesson. If you have any doubts, please send in your doubts to the respective teachers. It will be cleared. And until we meet next time, thank you.